Welcome to
Clap.
Because Movies. What if T'Challa became a Star-Lord?
The Star-Lord. Not a Star-Lord. There's only one Star-Lord. Because
The official title is A, I believe.
But there's only one Star-Lord.
Not in this case
this
because
universe,
we now have two,
Does
but in
your
separate.
No, he's not a Star-Lord. Well, technically
He's Star-Lord.
technically he's
Quinn
he's,
is his name.
Quill.
Quill.
Peter
That's
Quill.
it. He is Star-Lord.
But he's not.
That is his
He's just
comic
the
book
son
name.
of fuck.
That's
What
his
the
comic
fuck's his
book
dad's name?
Name is Star-Lord.
But in this universe,
That's what he's known as.
T'Challa
Star-Lord.
became Star-Lord.
Go
and
watch
They show at
the
the end of
first-
it, because we're going to fucking spoil it, Quill and what the fuck? Ego. There's his father's name. Ego comes in to say...
You mean in this variant timeline?
God.
He is not, yes. But in the normal, regular,
Isn't it hard to discuss this without, sound like an idiot whenever
Yeah.
I'm discussing the variant timeline of the Marvel Universe?
in the Phase 4 timeline, let's say the Phase 1 timeline,
The Phase 4.1.
he was Star-Lord.
Point 1. Now it's going to start sounding like Star Trek.
Anything to say before we go into plot? Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it.
Okay.
Out of all the stuff I watched for this...
You enjoyed this
the most.
storyline.
Yeah, not enjoyed the storyline, but it moved at a good clip. One thing I do like about Marvel that they do that DC can't figure out, and other stuff we watched for some reason can't figure out. Marvel's, and I think it's because they have such an expansive universe that we all know about. They're good at quick little things that you recognize. You're like, there's Proxima, there's Ebon Ma. They don't take up huge parts of the story, but you recognize it because you've seen them before. It's cool how they do that. They drop little hints here and there.
Is
which
it
always funny.
Proxima or Proxima?
What did I say?
You said Proxima.
Oh no, Proxima. Proxima.
I was just
don't
like,
remember her last
have
name.
I lost it? Like, I know I forget things, so it could have been.
For some reason, I always think that if I close my eyes and watch Avengers, it's Infinity War, when Proxima and Black Widow and Scarlet Witch and the Black Girl from or no, she's not. All three of them are fighting Proxima at the end of Infinity War. If I close my eyes, Proxima and Scarlett Johansson sound like the same person.
Could be.
They have very similar voices.
If I close my eyes, sometimes, just sometimes, I
think
fall
about-
asleep.
I think about Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, well,
Giving me the
I
old
thought you were gonna go
Proxima.
there and say when I close my eyes and they're on there screaming and I think of
And
other
then,
things.
you know what? I think about that part where you hear and then you hear Scarlett Johansson go, "That's really gross." I'm like, that's usually what I hear when I close my eyes.
In
Can't even see the flamingo.
1988, the Ravagers are sent to Earth by Celestial Ego.
Not
Sorry.
Celestial Eagles.
Yeah, maybe. You know, it's Phase 4. Anything's good. Okay. This is what if.
Celestial Eagle.
What if Eagles sent? Okay. To retrieve his son Peter Quill.
There's a song by Iron Maiden off the Peace of Mind album called "Where Eagles Dare."
But mistakenly abduct a
Makes you
young
think.
T'Challa.
That is a
From-
hard name
Yeah,
to think like
Wakanda.
you don't think you're saying it right.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like they're saying it with a flow, and I wonder if they had people fucking sit down and say the name T'Challa 100 times over and over and over and over and over to make sure you get it right.
Maybe.
Because it sounds like it's supposed to be a soft T, like T'Challa.
They do it a little hard in the show.
That's what it's hard to figure out the right way to fucking say it. And it's one of those names that you kind of feel like you're kind of being a bit of a racist if you're not saying it perfectly right.
Yeah, he joins them to explore the galaxy.
Yeah. But it does raise the question, thinking about it now. Didn't Wakanda have that huge, shell, that vibranium shell over top of it so nobody could see it?
He goes out of that shell.
Oh, that's right. Yep,
Something these notes don't
Yep, I remember that.
say is there's a first scene where it's that iconic scene from the first Guardians of the Galaxy,
Where he gets picked up?
where he picks up the not soul stone. Which stone was it?
I didn't think he picked up a stone.
It's that little orb.
Yeah, that's That's not a. I don't think
That
it's a
I
soul
believe it's a
stone.
stone
I
inside.
can't remember now.
That was
So
the
long.
point because they had to steal it from him in Infinity War or one of them, because that was one of the stones. They had to get them before Thanos did, or they had to get them. Sorry, after Thanos because they went back in time. Remember, that was one of the back in time moments.
I don't remember.
You're welcome.
I never said that I'm a fucking fanboy.
So anyway, there is that first scene, and it's right away. It's T'Challa facing these three.
I think that they're not the Kree.
No, these guys are separate. These guys are part of. They might be the Kree, part of it, like the
Yeah.
blue guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Not Thanos. He's purple guy. That's a whole nother subject in this thing. Anyway, that the reason why I bring that up is because that opening scene, I was like, okay, are they not explaining why this is the case? But but they then explain it. They go 20 years later, blah blah blah.
I did like though how
Sorry, earlier.
it's turning out just exactly the way the Guardians started. And he goes, "You're Star-Lord? The Star-Lord?" I'm like, that was pretty funny.
I love
That was
how they
cool.
made him a fanboy
Yep, that was pretty good.
for the whole thing.
He's like, Star-Lord and I, we're like best friends. I mean, I don't want to fucking brag.
This is an example of why you should watch the show and then watch
We
our
could say it,
review.
and they're like, I don't have no idea what they're talking about.
No, not in terms of spoilers, but in terms of like getting what we're talking about, because
Also,
we're just like straight up just talking about a moment that we
it's
haven't
a-
even discussed.
It's a fucking quick, enjoyable show. Like, it's not mired in. It's got a couple times where you're like, okay, yeah, get past this part. But the majority, it moves at a great clip, man. Marvel
yes,
is fucking,
very well.
especially their newer stuff. They're really good at moving stuff at a good clip.
Okay, 20 years later.
Just shut up, Rob, so I can read my notes.
No, it's just me trying to find my space. T'Challa has become a famous galactic outlaw mercenary, Star-Lord, while a reformed Thanos.
Thanos, not Thanos.
Where
do you see the I
It's
in there?
colloquial.
Twain is Twain.
And Korath have
Than-
joined the Ravagers
Thanos.
roster. Okay, so the
Why are you looking at me like I'm the one interrupting you?
Thanos
Thanos.
issue for me is it just seems a little far fetched. I know it's Marvel. I know it's variants. It's still far fetched. He comes off as goofy guy
he's a
next
comedy
door.
relief, yeah. I like the idea that they're like, it sounds like genocide. He's like, yeah, but not really. Like, I like that he's a good guy in the respect that
Reformed bad
right,
guy. Yeah.
exactly. But I like the idea that he's like, it's still a good idea though. You know what I mean? Like, I like that he's like not totally against it. Yeah. He's still trying to pitch people on the idea. It is a good idea.
Because that's like a meme that people have always been like, this is nuts, but it kind of makes sense.
I think make absolute fucking sense.
Is
That's
Thanos
why I always rooted for
the
Thanos.
good guy. Yeah. So in this, multiple times he keeps explaining himself.
But he is kind of relegated to being like the Hulk. You know what I mean? The tough guy.
Yeah.
Who they bring in to beat people up.
Well,
but,
he's what's his name? Drax in this.
Yep. Yeah. Drax
basically.
is the bartender. Oh yeah, effectively yeah to the Guardians.
Yeah. Everyone has their
Muscle.
their place in the Ravengers, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, and generally speaking, because like it doesn't have this in the notes, but at some point during
Whose notes?
in the Wikipedia notes, whoever wrote this, they completely left out Howard the Duck,
Oh my god.
which is voiced by Seth Green.
Is it really? Eh?
Yeah, not Rogan. I was hoping I didn't say that wrong.
Joe Rogan. Can you imagine?
That would be cool.
Joe Rogan.
Anyone could voice Howard the Duck, to
Did
be
you ever
honest.
try DMT?
But Howard the Duck was a great little cameo type thing in this. Anyway, okay. Nebula approaches the Ravagers, a new Nebula.
I did not like this look for Nebula
You didn't?
at all, dude.
She
I
has-
like the
she has
fucking
the second
bald
eye.
Nebula. Yeah. I like the bald Nebula. I like the bald fucking Karen
like bald
Gillian.
girls.
But yeah, the blonde doesn't work for me. I like how it's Karen Gillian.
Blonde doesn't work, but
I've never been a big
another
fan
color might.
I've never been a big fan of blonde. Yeah, brunette might work, but just the look of Nebula, I'm like, with how robotic and unfeeling Nebula is, hair doesn't work.
But in this, she doesn't feel robotic at all.
True. I don't know. That for me, I was like,
She's got lots of good feeling skin, I'm sure.
I'm not down on that.
Okay.
My Nebula's bald.
Nebula approaches the Ravagers. proposing to steal the embers of Genesis, cosmic dust capable of terraforming ecosystems and eradicating galactic hunger from
I
the
wish-
new galactic kingpin, Tenelavir.
I wish
Tenelavir.
they would
Tywin.
just refer to them as MacGuffins, because that's all they fucking are. They're just, hey, we got to go get the thing so the next action scene can happen. Effectively, when you think of it, that's what all the Infinity Stones were. They're like, hey, we've got to get this so the scene can happen.
But it's a heist show.
It is, but it's a MacGuffin, like the whole fucking like.
It's like Fast and the Furious.
Oh Christ!
Or
It's nothing like Fast.
they
and the
have to
fucking
have
Furious.
the explanation of what they have to do, and then things go.
See, the difference is
awry.
in this fucking show, the explanation makes perfect sense. Whereas in Fast and the Furious, it's
Cosmic
pointless.
dust that terraforms a whole
I
planet.
would rather do that than Dom fucking Tortellini sees a picture that nobody sees of a kid that he doesn't know he has, and then he knows he has it. Then he's got holy fuck. That movie made me want to fucking set myself on fire.
Stay tuned for our Fast 8
Fuck. Better be almost over.
video that's coming out in a couple days. So, Kingpin Tenelavir Tywin, what's his name?
The Collector.
The Collector. Thank you. I don't know why they
he's
didn't just
super-
write the Collector.
Well, they introduce him like I figure you would like it because they introduce him like wrestling. They're like Tenele Tavir, the Collector, and you're like, whatever. He's huge in this.
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't
got
a
more
comic
of a
book, but
Thing. But
he's
maybe
fucking
he's
monstrous.
made himself bigger because he's got all
Maybe.
all this access to all this different tech and
Space dogs.
yeah, space dust.
The fucking pigtailed girl that runs shit. That works for me.
Yeah, she's in one of the movies.
I think she's in both the she's in 3 of the movies.
There you go.
She's in Guardians 1. She's in. I know she's. Yeah, you see her caged up in Infinity War. And she might be in. She's probably at the end when everybody's fighting. She's probably somewhere in Endgame.
So we'll go back and watch those movies with knowledge that she becomes the kingpin at some
knowledge.
point. To get close to Tywin on Nowhere, they offer him the Power Stone orb that T'Challa obtained from Morag. See, if people didn't watch Marvel, they'd be like, "What the hell are you
I think
saying?"
Phil's having a stroke.
So there you go, Power Stone orb.
Okay.
It was the
Oh,
Power
the
Stone.
Power Stone. Okay.
That was the first one he wanted, I believe, because he doesn't have the Power Stone now, so he's not as strong as
Yeah,
in
but
the
when you
movie.
when you see him in Endgame, hasn't he got the Power Stone? That's the first one he
Yeah,
starts
I
with.
think that's what I just said.
Well, I didn't fucking believe you
You
because you were
gotta,
reading
you
it
gotta,
from
you
there.
gotta listen. No, I said it afterwards when I was
don't listen
my
to that
last sentence.
shit.
I'm
Cut this part out. You know what we'll do? Cut it from your head coming back, and I'm gonna get like a bruise. Put it a fucking CG bruise.
I'll just get the ladies upstairs to punch him for me. You're used to it.
They wouldn't hit me. They love me.
All right. I don't know why I said that. You're just like, oh.
Aw. Aw, I miss spousal abuse.
He knows something. In Tywin's Bass collection, T'Challa finds
We should put an anti-spousal abuse hotline number right at the bottom of the screen. If you're being abused,
we're not joking about
watch
that.
Marvel together.
It happens.
See if that helps.
Eh,
Oh, fuck off, dog. Why do you come down now?
I'm so glad it was the dog and not something else.
We got her little boots. I want to put her little booties on her so you can't hear her
Hi.
fucking clicking all over the
Hi.
place.
I know you're happy to see me. Everyone is. That's what Rob did when I came in.
Looking at your crotch and barking.
Ah,
Where's
it
my
happens.
drink?
We don't judge. So this is where the notes get that completely bypass Howard the Duck, which is probably one of the best parts of the show.
Technically, he doesn't really do anything.
Nothing.
But it is cool to see him.
He pretty much says, "Go this way," and then
gonna have a
T'Challa's like,
drink.
"Okay, come with me," and then he stops to get a drink and doesn't want to go anywhere else. Oh well. Anyway, alarms go off. In Tywin's vast collection, T'Challa finds a Wakandan spacecraft sent to him, revealing that Wakanda was not destroyed, as Ravager leader Yondu Udonta claimed. Which is basically mirroring the movie
Of Guardians. Guardians
Guardians
2,
3?
effectively.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back.
Because, yeah, it was he had to admit that about Ego. I keep getting that wrong.
Ego.
He has an ego. I get it. All right. Nebula seemingly betrayed. Oh, by the way, the spaceship was cool.
Yeah, I preferred. So if you remember, in Guardians of the Galaxy, his ship is called the Milano after Alyssa Milano, right?
Okay.
Did you notice they only show it for a quick second on the front, but when it's taking off off from Morag, did you see the name of the ship? It was the Mandela. I thought that was fucking cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
Very smart.
Yeah, so they his ship was called the Mandela, which I thought was neat. I don't know. I like the Milano a lot, just mostly from the movies. But it was the idea was cool how his father sent out the message that he was constantly looking for him. I thought that was neat.
I love that they were dummies
Yeah,
in the ship, and they didn't send out personnel. They just like send or automated ship.
yeah, like robots. Yeah,
I guess
I want to
they
save
can
my
make
son,
good
but not
robots.
waste any real people.
Nebula seemingly betrays the Ravagers, leading to their temporary capture as she executes a triple cross on Tyvan to obtain the Embers. Honestly, yeah, the triple cross is cool, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this whole part I was like, this is dumb. Just
it's just like
get to the next part.
Guess
Get to the
what?
part that matters.
we fooled you, the audience, but it's like okay for like half a minute.
But it was also like, yeah, it was like the Howard the Duck thing. It was like, why do we keep on focusing on like the whole conversation he has with Howard the Duck, and then he's like, oh, it's happy hour. I'm gonna sit down. Like, just get. I like seeing it, but get past it.
That was a great cameo though. Like that,
It was,
meant
but it
nothing,
didn't need to be as long
but
as it did.
I loved it.
I like more when things that have an effect on the plot happen. But it's a small complaint.
It's like they took the time from the actual triple cross and gave it to Howard the Duck because they knew that would do better.
Right? Because the triple, can you imagine the triple cross like another minute longer?
Yeah,
but again,
or 10,
it moves
like-
at a good clip except when it stops. And so that's those part for me where it stops. I'm like, come on, get going.
Tyvan's slave Karina
Karina,
rescues T'Challa.
I like Karina.
The Ravagers and Karina defeat Tyvan and
I'd
his
ravage
henchmen,
Karina
the Black Order.
with my Black Order.
Karina frees Tyvan's numerous captives, leaving him at their mercy. I
Leaving
wish
him at their mercy.
I don't know, but I wish there was more in these characters that got let out of their cage. More like obvious. This is this character. This is this
Well, there was
character.
like the Dark Elves, and then there was Howard the Duck, and there was Space Dog.
not in the group that came out of their
Yeah, yeah,
cells.
yeah.
It was just like randos.
But do you think if you were to pause on that and watch it, you'd be able to?
That's
see,
what
there's
I'm
that guy,
wondering.
that
There's
guy.
I watch New Rockstars videos, and he does like Easter eggs of every single thing.
What's New Rockstars?
It's a guy on YouTube. He does Easter eggs of every single thing of like Marvel stuff that comes out.
All
DC
I've been
stuff
watching
that
on
comes out.
fucking YouTube.
I'll
is
send you a link.
SCPs.
I'll send you a link. There'll be a link right somewhere. Yeah.
See, there was a link that came up on my phone.
Yeah, that was quick, wasn't
Amazing.
it? I went back in time.
You can do
That's
it in
all I
phase
did with
4.
it. Oh no, I'm a variant.
I am. That's why I'm
okay.
not allowed in your schools.
Also, I did notice. I did notice that during when Tyvan was being fought by T'Challa in that area with all the cells, they did callbacks to what's her things.
That doesn't help me at all. Oh, Hela.
Hela, that's it.
yeah. No, Hera?
Hela.
Was it Hela or Hera?
Yeah, it's Hela.
Yeah, hers. Then there was, there was one right before that too. The dagger. There was Captain America's shield. There was all sorts of shit that he had back there.
The fist of the rock guy,
Yeah,
Korg.
Korg. That's what it was.
Yeah, and you said Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer was
Thor's
there.
hammer was there, yeah.
I didn't notice anything else on that.
I thought
tray.
Thor's hammer was destroyed, but I guess maybe in this timeline it
Yeah,
wasn't.
guess not. I guess
I'm sure her
somehow
name
he
was
got
Hera.
them, so maybe they don't
think it was
exist on
Hela.
Earth anymore.
I'm sure it was Hera. I can't remember.
It's Hela
You're Hela. Hella tight.
in the butt.
Hella tight in the butt.
You're welcome.
Fast and Furious. That's the shit they'd say in Fast and fucking Furious. Fuck that movie.
No, it's in the book. Karina frees Tyvan's. Okay, we did that. Afterward, the Ravagers travel to Wakanda, where T'Challa reunites with his family. Lots of small talk, fun small talk. That
It's
was
fun, small.
good.
And see, that's what I like, where they're moving across and watching conversations happen.
Yeah.
And it's quippy and it's fun. I like that, especially in these movies.
like, to be honest. I like Thanos, but it just seemed too easy.
yeah, maybe.
And they broached that. They say, "Oh yeah, he has a way of words or something like that." And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
The only thing that I was kind of like, not irritated by, but I get as part of the story is Proxima and that big dude. He was Ebon Maw's bodyguard guy. They beat the piss out of him. And when you think of it, Thanos went up against the Hulk and beat the shit out of the Hulk. So I was like, how do these two guys beat up?
well, Thanos
Thanos.
had the stone at that point.
Oh, good
He had
point,
a
good
bunch
point.
of stones. So if
He
it
weighed
was just
15 stone.
if it was just Thanos versus the Hulk, straight up, that would be interesting. Put
Do you know what-
Superman in there, and then you were good.
Do you know what the weight of stone is? Because remember how in Britain they say like something stone, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because he had Infinity Stones. What if the Infinity Stones weighed 1 stone each? I want to know how much that would have been in Britain. Makes you think.
Elsewhere on Earth, Ego approaches Quill,
That was cool. Ego looked fucking
who
cool.
is a restaurant janitor in the DQ that was in
Ant-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. 3? There wasn't a
No,
3
it's
one.
only
Yeah.
two.
2.
I don't remember a DQ. in that.
When there's like rocks or this ooze that's Ego is making all the ooze come out of the planets.
Oh shit, that's
And,
right.
you know,
That's
one of the
right.
things is the DQ that gets.
That's right.
Yeah, and it looks exactly like that DQ.
Doesn't-
It could be just a coincidence,
Doesn't
but
Ant-Man work for Dairy Queen? Or Ant-Man work for something
I
else?
don't know.
I know Ant-Man works for something at the start of it. I could swear it's Dairy Queen. But yeah, overall, I like the animation style of this show. I think it looks really, really cool.
I want a sequel of this one.
Of this specific one.
Yeah, this is. I would
I
love a
think-
movie of this,
But I think that's kind of how they're doing it. They're kind of saying, but that's like how the Watcher says in the end of it. It's like, and that's going to bring upon the end of the world, but that's another story. So I'm willing to bet there's no
Yeah,
fucking way
there's
because
gonna be
that's Kurt
callbacks.
Russell's voice. Yeah, there's no fucking way that they would just use Kurt Russell to say, hey, don't you have some time for your dear old dad? And that's fucking it. I mean, they've got enough money to throw it out and say, hey, here's $1 million to say one line, but I doubt
they can just straight up say all these variants are in one timeline.
Yeah. And who knows if the show is working towards that by the end where it's all in one big timeline.
And
right?
this timeline gets visited later by a movie,
Maybe.
by Spider-Man. It's possible.
You seem like swing through it.
Spider-Man could go anywhere.
Good old Spider-Man.
No Way Home. We don't even have a trailer yet. And
Spider-Man.
it's just crazy.
See, I don't know. I got the sneaky suspicion that Spider-Man shows up a lot in the new Doctor Strange movie. So
Yeah.
they're trying to hold it out, trying to see how long they can push it, and then he's going to kind of be in both type of thing. But
I wonder if it. I think more likely that whichever one comes second will be the end scene, like the stinger.
you think? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
say Doctor Strange comes first, and then they do their whatever crazy movie that they're doing, and then
the multiverse.
the stinger
of
ends
madness.
up being Spider-Man coming through and going, "What the hell am I doing here?" Or "I need your help."
See, I think it would be cool if they would perfect what DC failed miserably at in that Batman vs Superman, how the Flash came jumping into Batman's dream or whatever the fuck that was, and it's like, oh, Bruce, no, this is the wrong time, but be sure you fucking tie your shoelaces, and then he jumps out of it. It would be cool if they did that
Oops.
with Batman in Multiverse of Madness. He just pops in, he's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Batman?
Or fuck.
I'm like, "Whoa, we're getting amalgam."
Spider-Man jumps into Multiverse of Madness and says something, blah, 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 but you really don't get it until you go and see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Maybe
That would be
halfway
fucking
through or
cool.
something. That would
that'd
be cool.
funny.
It's yeah. So I don't know. They could go either way, because what happens in Doctor Strange could make everything freak out. All the variants cross. So then Spider-Man makes sense because it's going to supposedly be Spider-Man's coming from other timelines and villains
I'm-
coming from other timelines.
I'm just worried that they're holding off because it's not good. That's what I'm worried about.
Oh no.
You know,
No.
but it could go either way. They could be holding, like the way they held off with Infinity War. They could be holding off because they know it's fucking lightning in a bottle. It's so good.
At first, they definitely were holding off because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still that.
The trailer dropping?
Yes,
Really? Eh?
because I think they want to announce a date,
Okay.
and I don't. And I
Definitely
think
true.
everyone's like on pins and needles, going third wave, fourth wave, whatever wave we're in now.
The Delta variant
Yeah.
wave.
Is everything shutting down? Because Florida and Texas were an obvious like test market, and they're not doing well at all.
Florida, and let's be honest. So Florida's never really done well.
DeSantis can die for all I care.
Santa's.
Not all those Santas. No, DeSantis is the governor or the whatever in Florida, and he's
Is it a
just,
governor?
He's got his hand. He's got hands in his pockets, not in a good way. It's awful. He's the most corrupt human
Cuomo's
being.
hands were in
He's
women's
more
pockets.
corrupt than Trump,
think?
or same level.
Really? Eh?
Like they're the same person, and he wants to run for president eventually. So get ready for that.
We don't need to worry about that. We
Anyway,
have a prime minister.
T'Challa.
We have our dipshit Trudeau.
Yeah, that's starting again.
Fuck.
You hear about the invoices?
Right? $800 invoices to people. For all
no,
our American friends
random
who would ever
amounts.
watch this, they're sending residents of Ontario random amounts with a letter on the front saying invoice open immediately, but it's not an invoice. What the fuck is it? They're basically demanding you
No.
donate, or what the fuck is it?
They're
Because it's not an invoice. It's not an actual invoice.
it's essentially just like, can you please donate, but done in a way of saying, here's your invoice of $800, depending on the person.
Yep.
And I think it's only going to those who have donated in the past, from what
really?
I read.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That could be wrong, but that's what I assume from the article.
Also, another thing I read about this is how fucking slimy the conservatives are. So, for anybody that's not big on politics, I'm not big on politics at all. And the way it's been explained to me and that I've seen over the past, I love the way it was explained where the liberals are the bleeding heart hippies, which they are. The conservatives are the ultra, we only want to spend money where we should spend money people, but they're kind of robotic, mean, slimy dicks. And then the NDP are just, who cares, right?
Is that Singh? Or?
Jagmeet Singh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's got some good.
you know what? I think this might be the first time
might
in my
be
fucking
his.
life that I vote for NDP.
It might
but
be his.
what's funny is, so the PCs, which is conservatives, are so everybody's starting to bring up their ideas because there's an election coming.
This is why we need a side podcast just of talking.
Just real quick, these stooges are saying that for Christmas, if you go buy stuff in store, you shouldn't be charged GST. It should be a month free of GST if you go to an online store, not like in-person store, not an online store. But because we want to get people shopping at Canadian
Oh,
stores
they're
again,
trying to
they're trying to pass a GST. Now, doesn't that seem
elbows with the corporate?
Doesn't that seem like a PC thing to do, or like conservative thing to do, where you would say, no GST for anybody. All you fucking small business owners and business owners who will have a goddamn terrible time figuring out your taxes to make up for a fucking month where nobody had to pay GST, that's going to be a nightmare. Also, you know that late into 2022 or halfway into 2022, they're going to be like, yeah, remember all that tax that we didn't charge in December? Yeah, for the province, for Ontario, yeah, you're gonna have to give that back. We're gonna.
Oh, they would never do that.
Are you fucking? Have
They
you
would never
met the
do that.
conservatives before?
They wouldn't say
They would absolutely
There's no
do it.
way they could get money back.
Conservatives
think of
are
how much
assholes.
they're trying to get money back on people who were sent checks for COVID relief,
Yeah.
and
That was-
then they were
that was-
like, then
that
they
was
gave
just
up on
bleeding
it.
heart fucking liberals.
Then they
though.
were just like
Trudeau and his
"Uh,
band of morons.
There's so many people that we gave money to that we shouldn't have that we can't really do anything about it.
The conservatives are sleazy enough to do that. The liberals are too stupid to figure out something like that. But let's hope the
T'Challa.
NDP can save the world. If T'Challa was a Canadian, he'd be NDP.
Anyway, that was just a side rant. And how did you like the show?
I did. I liked
Yeah,
it a
it
lot.
was so good.
I think I like this more than Captain Carter. It feels like it moved
Yeah.
quicker than Captain Carter.
They're separate things, but yes, it really depends what kind of Marvel movies you like.
Yeah, and I like the ensemble cast. So I think that's why I was never a huge fan of like First Avenger, Captain America First Avenger, the first Thor movie. When they're by themselves, it's kind of Chris Evans has a lot of charisma, but not enough to carry a movie on his own. Robert Downey Jr., the guy fucking sweats charisma. He's wonderful to watch.
Sorry, I'm just remembering that sci-fi movie. Did we watch it or did I just watch it?
Which one?
The Tomorrow War or something? Tomorrow
With
War.
Chris Pratt.
Chris
Fuck
Pratt.
that. Not
Oh,
watching
you were
that.
saying Chris Evans. Sorry.
Yeah, I've fallen out with Chris Pratt. I don't really care for Chris Pratt anymore, but who cares?
I like him in the ensemble cast.
Yeah, the
works.
ensemble casts for Marvel are great.
That's why it worked for that comedy show
Yeah,
that he
I
was
remember
in
that
before
one.
Marvel.
The comedy show.
I hate you.
The show that he's
it's
referring to is called Parks and Recreation.
There we go. I didn't watch it.
Parks
so-
and Rec. No, it was Parks and Recreation.
It is, yeah. I liked it. I will watch it again.
This specific episode
No, next episode.
better have nudity in the next one.
No, not
All the
at
shit that we watched had no nudity.
Next episode will be
Bullshit.
Shadow in the Clouds. Go watch it.
God, he's got
No.
Grace Moretz, governor.
Keep it for later.
Governor.
Keep it for the show, Rob.
Fuck that movie. All right, so for What If, I'm Rob. No, wait, shit, we're not What If. For this, we can't say episode though. For Because Movies podcast.
We can say for this episode.
For this
we
episode.
can't just say. We can't say this is
Episode
because
like
movies.
45
Yeah,
kind of thing.
even though it's probably that.
It's not though.
It'll eventually be.
You should use this in episode 45.
It's like,
If
yes,
Phil
of
hasn't had a
course it will.
stroke by episode 45,
Oh my goodness.
go team.
Hey, if you don't tune in for this jibba jabba, why are you here?
Watch what I watched in the, what's it called? Shadow in the Clouds, which sounds like a,
Do the dance, Rob.
talking about robots. Oh, that was fun.